The Milwaukee Brewers are going absolutely insane right now, and how the hell are they doing it? They've got one of the lowest payrolls right now, and they've got guys who you couldn't even name if I told you to name 5 players on their team, but right now, they have the #1 record in all of baseball, and it is causing a storm over there in the National League. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Bat for Baseball, the baddest baseball podcast on the internet, presented to you by Betway. I'm Adam Peddle, joined alongside by Nicholas Paleolog. It's been a fun last month of baseball. We've seen the standings just like shift like crazy. You're seeing teams that were hot to begin the year like the Tigers cool off. Teams that were kind of doing good like the Brewers pick up and go on a crazy 11-game win streak. The Brewers have been fun, and we're going to get into it all. Before we do, hit that like button and smash that subscribe button. Nick, you're a big fan of the Brewers. That's kind of like your second team, other than the Phillies.
Yeah. I like over there in the National League. I think my 2 favorite squads are the Phillies and the Brewers for sure. And I just have a deep respect for Milwaukee and everything that they do. I mean, you brought up that they were so down low in the payroll. Pull it up right now, man. Like the fact that they are doing what they are doing. And you got to scroll down on this page to number 24 in all of baseball, sandwiched between the Pittsburgh Pirates, who have a record of 42-61, and then Cleveland, who's got a record of 51-50. You got the Milwaukee Brewers, who have the best record in all of baseball. So I just have a deep respect for the fact that they are able to every year, like literally year in and year out, we trade away our guys. Willie Adames leaves, Josh Hader goes, Corbin Burns gone. Like all of these elites that it's like,
Devin
well,
Williams.
this is the end of Milwaukee. And it's not, because they just play great fundamental baseball.
Yeah, there's like a handful of teams in baseball that you look at and you're like, even though they are poor and even though they don't have the fundings like the Dodgers, like the Phillies, like the Blue Jays, like Chicago, they're still going to go out there and they're going to play good baseball. Like, name off the top of your head those teams right now.
Milwaukee's one. Tampa Bay is typically one of them. Boom. Cleveland can definitely be one as well. Honestly, like those are the 3 big dogs for me.
Yeah, and it's like, and then you look at other organizations, over here that they're surrounded by, the Pittsburgh Pirates, Colorado Rockies, the White Sox recently, the Athletics, they just can't seem to figure it out where, you're, to your credit, they got to get a lot of credit based on this recent performance because they are the #1 team in baseball in terms of the record. And obviously, look how close it all is, right? You got like 6 or 7 teams within 3 games of each other. So things could change, but you got to give them credit for being there. But the craziest thing is like, you can't really name anybody. And Pat Murphy, their manager, when they went to L.A. and they swept the Dodgers, this is a funny quote, saying, no one knows who we are. We do, but we do. It's like I told the LA reporters, no disrespect for the great fans of Japan and baseball, but they can't name 5 players in our lineup. And it's true, we played that game earlier.
Exactly. We literally, after reading this, we tried. And I mean, Yelich comes to mind, Churio comes to mind, Adam pulled Terang, and then after that, we started to fall off. Now, we should have remembered William Contreras, because that dude is elite. But looking over at that roster, there's a lot of guys in here that, you just never think of.
No.
Terang's leading off, Contreras there, Yelich, Churio, and then after that top 4, I mean, you got a handful of individuals right there that I am just really not that familiar with.
Yeah, like Andrew Vaughn, I remember from the White Sox because I was looking at their team, but you're right. It's like a bunch of guys that are like the scraps of other teams.
Exactly. And I think what's wild as well is if you look over on the right side there at their OPS and everything that they've been doing so far, this offense actually isn't going insane. No. In an age of baseball where it feels like you got to hit home runs and you got to be putting up 5 runs a game, this is not the Milwaukee Brewers formula. They aren't hitting a ton of bombs. They aren't, don't have a great OPS, and yet they're still 7th in runs scored. And then with that backbone of the pitching, which is crazy, it's enough to be 61 and 41.
Yeah, they play small ball. They hit and run. They're 3rd in stolen bases, so obviously they take advantage of the stolen base in that capacity because rather than stringing 3 hits together, non-homers and non-extra base hits, now maybe you string a walk and a stolen base and 1 hit, and there you go, and there is your run scored. And they've been doing it really well recently, right? When you look at the offense, it has been very nice. In the last 30 days, they're 2nd in all of baseball, right behind the Toronto Blue Jays in average. So they're starting to heat up, and that's what caused that streak. Once that offense gets hot, with the backbone of that pitch, like you said, it is very, very good. And that pitching is one of the best in baseball.
It is
folks.
actually insane. And this has always been why Milwaukee has been so great. Even though they're not spending a ton of money, if we could scroll down to the starters right here, like this to me honestly blew me away just looking at the starting pitching over there from Milwaukee, because these guys are dominant. Peralta, Quintana, Brandon Woodruff back from a long-time injury. Jacob, can't pronounce his last name, but I should learn it because
he's so good.
He's so good. Went to the All-Star game, even though there were some people that were upset about that. But so far, he is deserving.
Hey, don't turn down your invitation. Like, simple as that.
Well, exactly.
Don't turn down.
It's not this kid's fault. Yeah, you're obviously going. And then Quinn Priester. Now, this isn't the Garrett Coles and the Tarek Skubals. You don't know necessarily some of these names. But look at those ERAs associated with them, right? The worst pitcher on the squad is Jose Quintana with a 3.49.
Yeah.
That's like, and we're Blue Jays fans, that's like our best pitcher on the fucking team.
Yeah, they're so deep, man. And that's been the philosophy of the Milwaukee Brewers for so long. It's like they just churn out great pitching, which is why in the last couple of years, that's why I was on like, maybe they'll trade Freddie Peralta, because they just don't care. They're like, we'll just trade them all away because we know we got more. We got more back here, so let's go get some assets right here for the offense. But they have a wonderful rotation, and then that bullpen, I'm kind of shocked it's not higher than it is, because it's like a 16 ERA in baseball.
Honestly, I'm pretty confident. I don't know this, so Milwaukee fans, if you're watching, let us know. But I got a sneaky feeling that maybe earlier on in the season there was one or two guys that like brought them down, and they left or they got DFA'd or what have you. Because looking at it right now, this should be like the number one bullpen in all of baseball. Honestly, there is so many sub-3 ERA guys in here. In fact, there are only 2 individuals that are not sub-3 in the Milwaukee Brewers bullpen. And even those guys, Tobias Myers with his 4.5 ERA, well, I can throw him in when we're, 7 down or 7 up type thing.
Yeah.
Like no problem, right? So this bullpen is so deep.
Yeah, it is very deep. And this is how they win, man. Like, they play a different brand of baseball than everybody else. And, I guess there is a little bit of skepticism by some fans, and by some fans, I mean myself too. Like, where this type of baseball, it is absolutely a way to get to the postseason, right? You play great defense, you play with some great pitching staff, and you have just enough offense to get there. But then in the postseason, when you're up against your offense up against their greatest pitchers, can they come through in those tough moments? And that's always been the Milwaukee Brewers thing, where they'll be so great in the regular season, then come postseason, it feels like they don't break through against the best. What I mean?
I do hear that, and having like if Yelich was back to his MVP ways, that would obviously be maybe a different story right there.
Yeah.
Although I do think that there's something to be said, like when you got a bullpen that deep associated with your starting pitchers that's that deep, it's like, do you have the benefit as the manager to be able to, like, let's just say, for instance, you throw out Freddie Peralta and he doesn't necessarily have it today, and you see that immediately.
That's danger.
Well, like, you can pull him out almost immediately because you have such a deep pen that can then play the rest of the game, and you know that the following day, when you have Jose Quintana on the bump, you're going to be able to eat those innings back up. So I just think that, like, because they have so many good pitchers, like, this strategy wouldn't work if there was only like 3 or 4 really good bullpen guys. But having so many of them and then having 5 top-tier starting pitchers, it's a good ball team.
It is. And what's sad is, like, you look at the trade deadline, if you're any other team, you're like, man, this is an opportunity for us to go all in, get that big contracted guy over here and really go and add a slugger to the lineup. Because if they got that, I'm not saying it would change everything. Like, let's say you added Eugenio Suarez. I think that would change the offense totally. But, I mean, you're adding an elite guy amongst these other guys who are just kind of like doing good baseball, playing good baseball, but you're not adding like a bunch of dudes. But it's just unfortunate for the Milwaukee Brewers, because it's like, they don't go out and they don't add those guys because they can't pay and can't afford those guys.
Yeah, exactly. And
that's not their baseball.
They're not going to be the most active team at the trade deadline. I'll tell you this much. If there was ever a salary cap in baseball, Milwaukee's going back to back to back when it comes to World Series, because they've already figured it out how to deal with this in the salary cap.
You also need a I think you straight them into salary floor too, because because the way baseball is, this will be a great conversation in 2 years when we're locked out of baseball. But you need to raise the floor up because you need to get teams to spend. Because like no team's going to go down from their 200 million, but you need them to get up to 200 million. So how the hell do you do that? Because if they don't do that, I mean, it feels like there's a glass ceiling that they can't break through.
And they have been hitting that now. A quick shout out here to one of their new guys. Like this is why it works for them. This is why they don't have to spend money. This dude, Jacob, can't pronounce his last name.
Missy Orowski. Miss Orowski? Miss Orowski?
Let us say it almost sounds like a little Japanese on it. I don't think he is Japanese, but
Miss Orowski.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it. Somebody let us know in the comments down below. But obviously the Baseball Savant page not fully filled out yet because he hasn't played enough, but it is going to be elite when he does qualify. This is why they're capable to not spend money and still be great. This was one of their top prospects, which they don't trade away because they can't. Because they can't, they literally can't. But they do turn them into very, very good players.
This is the new Paul Skeens right here. Maybe that's disrespect to Paul Skeens, but he is very, very talented in the how many starts? 6 starts he's had.
Yeah, only 6 starts.
It's not, again, small sample size, but you can tell the stuff is there if you look at the red that's not fully in there. I mean, the fastball also averaged out 99.3. Like, it feels like these kids are coming up, and if you got kids are coming up throwing like 100 miles per hour with ease, but if you can actually throw it for strikes, boom, easy. You're the next face of baseball.
100%. Yeah, and I mean, like, he's got a good pitch mix too there with the slider, the curve, and the change. I mean, just being able to get people off that fastball. So he's looking elite. Honestly, Milwaukee as a whole right now, are you believing in them when we make it to the postseason?
Well, if you're believing in them, you can go check out Betway, hit your picks, and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the details section to join the action. Must be 19 years older. Please play responsibly. If you do believe in them, if they go to the World Series and they make it all the way through and they're facing whoever it is in the AL in the World Series, if they get to that point, you'd win money if you took this bet, which is 8 times your money if you want them to go to the World Series. It's tough because they're good odds, right? You look at the up and down the NL, you're like, well, the Phillies are over them, the Dodgers, the Padres, the Mets, all these teams.
And I also want to point out too, it's like they've swept the Dodgers multiple times
Dodgers.
this season.
You're right.
Beat
You're
the
right.
Cubs.
You're right.
So it's like it's not like they're beating up on bad competition here. They are actually dominating the good teams. Can they do it in October?
Can they do it in October, right? Because you also, the Dodgers have been going through this weird funk right now, and they're almost 500 the last 40-ish games. It's tough, right? Because I've seen it year in and year out. Like, is this finally the year of the Milwaukee Brewers? I don't know if I would. I like the odds, but I don't know if I'd necessarily take it just because, I haven't seen it. And it feels like the story happens every year,
Well, and that's why you're getting those good odds because we haven't seen it yet. But if you believe in it, then hop on to Betway. Folks, that is the podcast for today. If you haven't already done so, please make sure to hit that like, smash the subscribe button, and of course, let us know your comments about this let us know the comments down below about what you're thinking about the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you next time.
Cheers.